everybody, it's Jim here, and on today's episode of Would I Rebuy This Guitar, we're going to be talking about a Gibson, the ES-Les Paul, that had P90s and a Bigsby on it. One of the biggest perks about doing what I do on the side and buying and selling guitars, sometimes I find myself with guitars I would not purchase for myself or what I think I might be interested in. I buy them because I know the price is right and I understand the market. That was the case of this guitar. I had already had the Gibson ES-339 for about 2 years at the time where I picked up this Memphis-made ES-Les Paul, and I didn't expect it to be that much different outside of the fact that one had P90s and the other had traditional humbuckers in it. However, there ended up being more to the story than just those two differences. Here's a quick clip of me playing that guitar in a full band context. It's been a while since I watched that demo, and man, I had a lot of fun doing it with that guitar. But back to the topic of this specific instrument and my impressions of it. A few things of note. The neck is a very chunky neck on it. I liked it a lot, but it's definitely not going to be for everybody. If you're somebody who prefers a 60s or a slimmer style neck, you might find this be a little bit too much for you. That's totally cool. You got lots of other options out there. However, the fact that this guitar retained the size of a Les Paul, had a Bigsby on it, and was still under 7 pounds while sounding as gigantic as it did, it was an odd recipe that I've not seen too many other guitars pull off so well. It was really an eye-opening kind of guitar because I was so used to the ES-339 that I was speaking of earlier in this video. I thought that it was kind of going to be like for like, but the Les Paul ended up having more kind of presence and growl to it than the ES-339 did, which surprised me because you're talking about P90s versus the modern historic humbuckers. Actually, that had 57 classics in the ES-339. It's always a treat when you get to learn things firsthand, and there's no better experience, regardless of whether you're talking about pedals, amps, guitars, than playing them in the room. Playing them in person, you'll find things that might really leave you saying, I never thought that could do that. And this guitar was a great example of that. But one thing that genuinely concerned me when I purchased this guitar was how well was it going to be staying in tune with the Bigsby. Not because of the Bigsby itself, but because it didn't come with a roller bridge. It came with an ABR style bridge on it. No problems. All I did to make sure that that thing was going to be just fine for my light vibrato usage that I intended to use it for, made sure there was some big bones nut lubricant in the actual nut of the guitar, as well as in the grooves of the actual saddles themselves, broke the strings in, and after that, it actually held tune far better than I had anticipated. And honestly, I'm struggling to think of anything negative to say about this guitar, outside of the fact that it's a little expensive. If you're looking to purchase one of these guitars, especially in this configuration, gold top P90s with a Bigsby, those are harder to come by. The ES-Les Pauls that I find more regularly when I do look around for them are the ones that come with the modern historic humbuckers and no Bigsby. They also have a Les Paul custom kind of themed ES-Les Paul that is even more expensive than the one that we're talking about here, the Goldie. But if you can find one, the price is right. I think, honestly, $3,000, I'd be okay with paying that for this guitar if it was just as well taken care of as the one that I had, because it was genuinely a very stellar instrument. Outside of that, one con being the potential scarcity and the price that would be reflected within that scarcity. It was kind of scary having that guitar around because I have a toddler and I have a little dog that just run into things. That's just kind of my life. I like Fender guitars because I don't have to worry too much about them being destroyed. This guitar was just so beautiful that I felt like it was a piece of art that I didn't want to get destroyed. And as things have gone in the future, I ended up, when I did buy myself a guitar I thought was of the same kind of quality or caliber, I bought the custom case for it, being the Paul Reed Smith. So overall, would I rebuy this guitar? Yeah, I think I would. If the price was right or the right trade came along. This was such an unexpected surprise. I did not think I was going to like this guitar as much as I did, but at the end of the day, if I was in the business of buying and selling guitars and I kept every single one I really liked, I would be just in the red. Horribly in the red. My wife would be pissed. There'd be nothing left in this room. It'd all be sold off to make up for my losses. So unfortunately, not all of them get to stick around forever. But man, awesome instrument. I can't recommend trying one out if you find one in person, because like all Gibsons, I will say, tough to buy them sight unseen, but give them a chance. Magic is absolutely there, and it really was with this specific guitar. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. I really do appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I hope that you're having a decent kind of holiday season. You're not stressing out too much. If you are, take a minute, relax, turn off the computer, play with your guitar. Nothing else. Have some fun. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take it easy.